everyone, welcome back to Hearts Unlocked podcast. Before we dive into today's episode, I just want to take a moment to thank each and every one of you for your incredible support throughout my season 1. Your love, your feedback, your enthusiasm mean the world to me, and I couldn't be more grateful for that. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you'll never miss an episode. And also, if you are tuning in on Spotify, don't forget to rate my podcast on Spotify. It really helps me grow and reach more listeners like you, or reach more guests and come up with any interesting topics which you guys love. Now, I'm super excited to kick off season 2 with all of you. This season is going to be extra special because it's all about guests. We are lined up with some amazing people to join us in this season 2. And we are diving into some really exciting topics. So, without further ado, welcome to season 2, episode 1 of Hearts Unlocked. Disclaimer: the content shared on this podcast is just for informational and inspirational purposes only, and is not at all a substitute for professional advice or assistance. If you are experiencing any form of violence, abuse, or distress, we strongly encourage you to seek a help from any qualified professionals, counselors, or local authorities. Remember, you're not alone, and support is always available. Today, we have someone truly special joining us. She's not just our first guest, but also a shining example of strength. Life has thrown its challenges at her, but she has bounced back stronger and is here to share her incredible journey with us. Let's not keep her waiting. Hi, and welcome to the podcast. Why don't we start by introducing yourself to our listeners?
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Anamika, and I am mostly all over the place, firstly, which means I am, you can call me a little of a baker, a little of an artist, little of a cook, little of a crazy, enthusiastic uh, driver. I love doing road trips, and I mostly keep to myself. I'm more like a loner kind of a person with very minimal number of friends, and I like to spend my time with my dog. And yeah, that's I'm a pretty simple person, so you wouldn't find too much to know about me. And when it is my personal time, it is mostly in my kitchen, or either painting or baking something, reading some books. That's pretty much about me.
Oh, wow. That's actually a very huge intro, Anamika.
Thanks.
You say that you are like, a loner or something, but it looks like you've covered everything from books, from, road trips and everything. It looks like you're jack of all trades.
And masters in none.
I mean, you don't need to say that. I mean, it's like you do. I mean, as you said, you read books. That's
Hmm.
you're good at reading, or maybe you can good at writing and stuff, and you're
Hmm.
baking and everything. So how can you say master of none?
Master of none is because, it's like I keep jumping into multiple things. So, you see me 1 hour I'm reading, next hour I'm in the kitchen doing something, and the third hour I'm probably in my balcony doing the laundry. So, I'm everywhere. I'm all over the place.
That's actually a good thing.
Hmm.
Okay, so let's start from the beginning. So, how did you end up doing all this kind of stuff like baking, reading, painting? everything. So, from which experience or how did it actually start?
Well, for this, I think we need to go about 26, 27 years back in the day.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Mm. So 26 years back in the day, and considering me being the only child, only girl child of the family, for a while it was a perk.
Hmm.
Later on, when life teaches you too many things in an early stage, when you do not have people to share and people to talk to,
Hmm.
your best friend unfortunately becomes a pen or a paper because you don't know where to talk, what to share, whom to share. Because at that tender age, you wouldn't know what trust is, but yet you wouldn't feel like sharing anything with anybody.
Hmm.
So that is when my papers and pencils came into place.
Oh, wow.
That is where uh, I think I tried putting the loud noises in my brain to by drawing them on the paper because I couldn't go out and scream. So it was the papers that I put my screens out on.
Wow.
That is when it started.
Hmm. Looks like, you had a challenging, rocky start. So, how did you become what you are right now? Which is really incredible. You're doing so many things. So now I can, literally say that, wow, she can be an example for me. So, how did it actually, no?
Well, how did I get to what I am today is like I said, you after a certain age, you stop trusting people. Or certain experiences, not certain age to be very precise. You stop trusting people. You don't, sometimes you feel you don't belong where you are, or
That.
probably, you're not okay. You're not okay. There's something wrong going on, and you just want to do something about it. So that is when, I needed diversions in life. I needed diversions because things around me were not okay. There were always fiascos going around my head and inside my head also. So, which is why, I started channelizing that kind of energy into my work because my work became my stress buster. So it's like, because I am completely dedicated to whatever I do. So if I'm painting, I'm lost. I'm lost into the painting for about 8 to 9 hours, where somebody has to come and remind me, like, hey, you need to take a break. Or else I'm
Okay.
just into it. I forget what lunches are, I forget what dinners are. So it is pretty much like, you got to disturb me, actually, to be very honest, if I have to get up from there. So I started off painting that way, and then my grandmom saw that interest in me, and she's like, "Why don't you pursue your career in this?" I was like, "Okay." Then my aim was to go to Europe and do my masters. However, I did my bachelor's of fine arts in painting and applied arts. So it was like, I need to do my master's abroad. That was my thing, but fortunately, unfortunately, that never worked out for me. But still, yeah, I continued my painting. And after a while, I started working. I understood what corporate culture was like. And I was like, okay, this isn't my cup of tea. I was there with the corporate for about good 7, 8 years,
Wow,
probably even
that's.
more than that. And after that, I was like, you know what, this isn't my cut. This isn't going to happen. And then, as luck would have it, the wonderful lockdown had come thanks to COVID. So in COVID, I realized that, it's just not the art what I want to do. I always wanted to, in between, I'm a great cook and a baker. So I did mention that earlier. So I was like, why don't we mix everything? Let's, you know, mix my art and my baking and cooking together, which is when I was like, okay, what to do? I only knew basic baking, where I saw my grandmom bake the normal sponge or make ice creams and the basic desserts at home. And me being that curious girl about baking, always got that pre-mixes, just put it in the microwave and, tried figuring out how to do the icing, but never was successful because I didn't know that, you have to do a certain thing in certain temperature. I had no idea about the baking science. So I was like, okay, let's do some study here. I did a lot of research, I did a lot of study, and I was like, fine, we need to, do a course. I ended up doing a 6 months diploma in baking. And once the diploma was done, I was like, great, let me start my baking page and let me, you know, go for a professional thing and all of that stuff. So I still continue to do a lot of learning in my baking because 6 months of diploma is, to be honest, reading and learning from the books is different. And
Yeah,
you practically doing something is different. So
obviously.
day in and day out, I still keep, learning new recipes. Go, I look out for new dessert chefs and bakery chefs, pastry chefs. I keep
Wow.
following them and I keep, you know, learning new recipes and slowly, once I am confident enough, once I feel that, yes, I can do this, I can put this to people out in the market, that is when I have a plan to launch a proper bakery setup. And simultaneously, I'm also working on a cloud kitchen. So I come from a very typical Telugu Brahmin family where and we are from properly I'm from Andhra, so it is like, I don't find that authenticity in the food here, irrespective of me, being raised in Hyderabad all my life. But the taste of food, what I get in my house, I don't find it out. And so I have all the sorry, plans to, get a cloud kitchen of my own food with, there's no added, added preservatives or anything, that kind of food I want to get in the market. So, yeah, these things are going in hand in hand. Let's see how my things can go forward.
It's actually very inspiring. You're doing so many things at once. As you said, like, you are painting or baking, you've learned a course on it. So are you like open to public on your baking skills or your painting skills in case, anyone wants to order or anyone wants to, give it a try kind of stuff?
I am. I will drop my links to you. But so for now, baking is available. Yet I am yet to add some more flavors and some more quick pickups of stuff and all of that stuff. All the other things. I would love to share the links with you so that you can also have a look.
Yes, I would drop down all the links so that, anyone who wants to reach out to you, they can obviously
Sure, sure,
try,
sure,
try all the amazing flavors you have.
sure, 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 sure.
And apart from that, so you're running a business and, simultaneously managing a lot of things. So did you find challenges anywhere?
Oh, every day my life is a challenge. Veronica. Every day is a challenge. Whose life is not a challenge? See, I'll tell you something. Everything has its own pros and cons. It's
Mhm.
not Nothing is a cakewalk because cooking, baking, or taking up any kind of responsibilities. Like, for example, I want to open a dog shelter in future where, I do not want any kind of fundraising or anything. I want to do it with my own funds. It's not like, I want to wait for somebody to donate. If some child or innocent being is trying, it needs treatment, I can't wait that long. So everything, if you think it is tough, it's tough.
Yeah.
Everything is easy if you think it is easy, because everything comes with own set of challenges and complications, but it's how you take it.
Mm-hmm.
As simple as that. Yes, things are going to be challenging, because life gets very monotonous if you don't have those kind of challenges.
Okay, that's an interesting perspective.
Yeah. So for me, I like challenges. Yes, I do get frustrated. It's not like, I'm like, it's fine. No, it's okay. It's just no, I do get frustrated. But there's a lot of learning out of my frustration also, because, a person tends to commit blunders when you're frustrated or angry. What does it teach you? It teaches you to hold your calm so that, your things can be done easily. There's no point of getting frustrated, pissed off, or getting angry, because, it is complicated. The minute you're angry, your brain stops functioning. It's just the anger. So, this thing is, I've learned one thing very nice: let anything consume you. You need to consume, may it be food, may it be alcohol, may it be anger, may it be emotions. The minute they start consuming you, you're gone. So don't let anything consume you. You, as an individual, need to have that thought or control to control your emotions or any situation around you with all possible cool and calm, or else it is going to be a disaster. There is no point in howling, running, screeching. Anxiety can get you do that. Like,
Mhm.
you really need to tell yourself that you're okay, everything's going to be fine. That is when the mind starts coming into your control. The minute mind starts controlling you, you're good to go, is what I believe. So, me being an anxious, restless, clumsy human being, from losing my temper within no time to, like, calming myself down and continuing my work, is a very, 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 very big step. So, yeah, that.
Actually, indeed a very big step. So how did you come from anxious anger person to whatever you're right now, so calm, you're like, you have to control your emotions, you shouldn't be in anger, all that actually
I,
takes a lot of work.
I saw extreme destruction in my anger. It
Okay.
was working out. Things don't work out when you're angry, when you're
Mhm.
angry. Just see, there's nothing wrong in being anxious.
Okay.
No, anxiety is not something you wanted. It is because of whatever trauma responses. So I
Mm-hmm.
slowly started telling myself, it's okay. Whatever happened, happened in the past. Whatever is going to happen, is going to happen in the future. What is your current situation? What do you have to act upon? What is the
Mm-hmm.
situation? If I wouldn't understand anything in that point of time, I would break things down for myself, saying, okay, this is the thing. Okay, this is how it's going to be. This is how, if you use your temper or not use your presence of mind, you might lose out on something. So I started telling myself certain things where I started calming down. And I believe in one thing: it's better to be quiet than reacting. So I started rather responding than reacting on a situation.
I
When you,
heard somewhere.
yes. So when I started responding to the situation than reacting, my life became more easier.
Hmm. So could
That,
you just break down to our listeners what is responding and what is reacting and what's the difference between them?
okay. Somebody comes and tells me, I'll just give you a very, very layman example, okay?
Okay.
For example, you have a Rolex watch, or maybe some watch, some expensive watch, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It accidentally, somebody, walking by, and or probably it's put in your room and it just falls down.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mistake. You don't have to scream your lungs out. You don't have to screech at that person. They're already feeling miserable. They're already apologizing. They're already feeling miserable they dropped it down. It probably broke a screw or something came out. They're
Mhm.
already miserable. Don't make some other person feel so miserable that they'll probably push themselves away from you. It's okay. Yes, I know it is expensive.
Mhm.
You know what? You can get that fixed too. If you
Yeah.
have money to buy an expensive watch, I'm sure you will have the money to fix it also.
Yes.
You want to, you know, break some one of your relation just because they broke something of you.
Hmm. It's actually a very wise advice, I say. So, I mean, the first things, we human are like, it's a feeling, sometimes when something goes out of the box or something is not as per our schedule, we tend to have our emotional part of the brain ruling the logical part of the brain, wherein we just go bonkers.
Correct, correct, correct. Same way when it comes to relationships, also, I will tell you one thing. Every human being is a red flag, all right? You just need to know what red flags are worth keeping.
Keeping, yes.
Same way, there are people who push your nerves.
Mm-hmm.
You need to know how to, shut them up and decide if you want to be with them or not want to be. Because I there's something for somebody cheating is okay and they do not regret it, there is no point in going and breaking your head in front of them.
Hmm. True.
It's like you're hitting your head towards a wall. There is absolutely no point. So, similarly, I just gave you a materialistic example. I gave you a normal emotional way also. Same way when it comes to people or situations also, you need to have that thought, that small thought. I'm not saying, reacting is bad or something, but you need to know when to react, you need to know when to respond.
Hmm.
Also, react in a certain way where, you're not hurt, the other person is also not hurt. Unless, the opposite person has done something extremely so bad that, you have no choice but to react. Even in that, also, you need not go and, do something as bad as what they have done. That time there wouldn't be any difference between that person and you. So it took me a while
Mm-hmm.
to get to that. But trust me, when I started being this way,
Mm-hmm.
I am at more peace. End of the day, your mental peace is what matters because if you grudge over somebody and you want to, teach them a lesson, we also need to know that we are equally burning in the
Our
same anger,
mm-hmm.
burning them together. So, you're destroying them, you're destroying yourself too.
self as well. Yeah.
So, that is the thing. So, this is what I learned. I mean, I'm still learning. I'm still learning. I'm still getting there. Uh,
Incredible what you have done, to be more precise.
So, it is like sometimes I'll be like, you know what? I don't even have time to think about this. So, that's how things work for me.
That is actually great. You have given a lot of input to me and to our listeners on, how to navigate what is responding, what is reacting and stuff. And but I've heard it, usually we'll heard through people, and people are like, you shouldn't end up bottling up your emotions. You should let it out and that kind of stuff. So how do we navigate between, responding to the people at the same time, letting out our emotions?
Okay. Letting out emotions. How many people do you think really have the time to even take care of others' emotions? How many people are taking care of their emotions, and how many people living a corporate life have the time to understand their own emotions?
Yeah, I kind of agree to that because sometimes I do get carried away totally and I don't even have time to understand what my emotion is, what am I feeling. I'm just dull. That's it. What?
Correct. So,
How? It's just blank.
Yeah. So when you yourself do not have time to understand your emotions, how do you think when somebody is venting their emotions out to you, you'll react? The opposite person will be like, hey, listen, I understand you're going through a rough time, but I'm sorry. I got to go. These are the kind of answers what you listen to.
Hmm.
So, you know what I do when I feel emotionally overwhelmed? I go for a walk. I channelize my emotional energy to physical energy because
Right way.
very honestly, unfortunately or fortunately, people do not have time for your emotions. This is a world which runs on a rat's race.
Mm-hmm.
They do not have time because they do not have time for their own emotions. Yeah. Everybody is doing a 12-hour job. Everybody has a house to manage. Everybody has responsibilities. Where is the time? Go on a retreat. Go go on a vacation. Go to mountains. Go to some hilly areas. Go to a place which has sea. Calm. Calm yourself down. There's a lot of calm, peace. See, I understand the world is pretty messed up around. Yet, the world is also a beautiful place, and the world is for everybody. It is not just for a single individual. The world is for everybody, and everybody has the right to regenerate themselves, calm themselves down, and come back. There is nothing wrong in crying. There is nothing wrong in writing down what they feel. There is nothing wrong talking it out. But however, talk it out only if you have the right person to share. And also, before you vent out your emotions to a certain person, make it a point to ask them, hey, are you okay? I feel like venting out something because you also need to know the opposite person's emotional state of mind. Because when you're venting out, is the opposite person ready to take that kind of venting out session? Or are they emotionally okay to handle our emotional outburst? You need to know that. It's like you be kind to yourself first and then be kind to others as well. And if the other person does not understand, it's not your fault. That's you know what you're going through. You know what is the best for you. You know what is good for you.
Mm-mm.
You're your own best friend.
Best way to end episode 1. You are your own best friend. Thank you so much, Anamika, for this great and how can I describe the words? How can I say how much a single word or how much a single sentence mean to people when they really resonate with it or when they really in need of hearing all those kinds of words. And here you go, listeners. This is not the end. We are just giving it a pause. And stay tuned for episode 2 with Anamika. Thank you for joining me on this special episode of Hearts Unlocked. Until next time, I'm your host, Veronica. Ta ta, adios, goodbye, take care.